Welcome to Inside Eugene. I'm your host, Marin Stewart. Each episode, we take you behind the scenes of library, recreation, and cultural services to meet the people and programs that make the Eugene, Oregon community shine. In this episode, we're talking about how to stay active, connected, and inspired, even in the winter months. I'm joined by Chelsea Guidry from Amazon Community Center and Marcel Beeg from the River House Outdoor Center to share what's coming up in the winter-spring season, just in time for registration day. Whether you're looking for cozy indoor classes or unique outdoor adventures, there's something for everyone despite the cold weather. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
So let's talk about winter rec. What do you love about winter recreation in Eugene specifically, or in the Eugene area?
You know, one of the great things about Eugene is that it's so centrally located. There's so many different options. And in the winter months, that only increases in a lot of ways because we have the snow in the mountains to the east and the ocean out west. So we have a pretty wide range of options for things we can do in the wintertime. It's simple to get away from snow if you don't want snow, or it's simple to get into snow if you do. So it's kind of the perfect location to be in.
Yeah, I love about Eugene how artsy this town is. There's so many opportunities for like bookish and crafty excursions during the winter time. So whether it's hanging out at the library downtown or going to one of the local bookstores or checking out arts classes through rec, there's all kinds of fun stuff to keep cozy with.
Yeah, I feel like you both just described both sides of me perfectly. I'm like, oh, I love to go ski, but I also love to stay inside and read a book. So perfect. Talk to me about why it's important to stay active and connected during the colder months. Do we usually see a lot of drop off in activity attendance? Why is it important to keep that going?
Yeah, for indoor rec, we do tend to see some drop off. I think that for me, I lean in a lot to what we know about whenever it gets colder and it gets darker. Sometimes this time of the year, stress can increase, loneliness can increase. People that are navigating mental health challenges sometimes feel it differently in the winter time. And so any opportunity that folks can find to stay connected and stay engaged with their community, whether that's through Eugene Rec or through other aspects of their lives, is beneficial for sure. Our programming does not slow down in the wintertime. We have just as many fitness and arts activities that people can get into. So I think just recognizing that we have more outside of the camp songs and the s'mores and all that good stuff.
I think the other side of it, you know, my doctor has before said, hey, should we wait till the fall to do these tests? Because winter, people kind of become a little bit of couch potatoes and don't get out a lot. And so I think it's actually really important to keep moving, especially with the little extra darkness and the cold, just to stay physically fit, and just helps you stay healthy and get outside, get some of that, fresh, brisk air is always really fun. And then you go to that doctor appointment in the spring and they're like, wow, that was winter for you. It's like, yeah, I've been skiing or hiking or, taking good care of myself. So
is there a particular program that you are either programming or attending or facilitating or otherwise that you're particularly excited about?
Well, we're bringing back our ski bus, which we've done for the last couple of years, which is a super awesome opportunity for kids to get up and go skiing and not have to go with their parents. They can ride a bus with a bunch of other kids and go skiing for the day, and there's a wide range of opportunities. So that's really fun. We also, that's a little newer for us this year, is our archery program has gotten really popular over the last few years, but we've always had to contract with external ranges in the wintertime to hold classes. But this winter spring, we're actually returning to the Sheldon Center, which I guess back in the day used to have archery in their gym. So we're bringing it back to that location. And so we're able to offer a whole bunch more archery classes this winter spring than we have in the past. So we have special things like a couples archery shoot for Valentine's Day, and several family outings and archery programs that are indoors. So it can be done January, February, March, April, and not have to worry about the dark and the cold and things like that. So those are a couple of big programs that are exciting. The third one that I think is unique for this year, we've also increased our sailing program by quite a bit. And as most folks know, our sailing programs happen out at Fern Ridge. However, this spring, we're actually bringing a bunch of the little sailboats into the pools and putting fans on and learning how to sail in the warmth of our pool. So those classes will be at Echo Hollow or Sheldon, depending on which week it is. And it'll be an opportunity for both kids, families, and adults to actually learn to sail and have that initial exposure on what does that mean in the comfort of our swimming pools. So kind of a new program that that I think we're really excited about to give a whirl this year.
That's cool. That's awesome.
It sounds like so much fun.
I love that picture in my head right now. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
How about you, Chelsea? Any that you're either excited to facilitate, program, or otherwise just see happening?
I love the opportunity, especially during the wintertime, for families to connect with one another. I think that there's a lot of great spaces within the community centers where you can bring your kids to engage in parallel play together while connecting with other parents or other caregivers that are kind of navigating the same daily ups and downs that you are. The one that I'm most excited about that we've got coming up is an addition to our 2 to 5s classes with caregivers. We have one that is sensory and socialize, and one that is book and brush, and both of those are art centered. But then we're bringing in a little chef's activity class where, again, the kiddos get to engage in parallel play, caregivers get to connect with one another, and children as young as 2 years old are learning about like the importance of preparing a meal and sharing a meal and the good nutrition that can come from that. So I'm really excited about those activities.
I would have loved to have been introduced to cooking that early and not figuring it out as an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. No
totally.
more ramen.
Yeah. So Marcel, I'm going to turn to you. What kinds of outdoor adventures are possible this winter with Rec?
Yeah. So again, like I mentioned, it's so amazing that we have such a wide environmental options here in the Willamette Valley. So for us, the way the River House focuses on programming is, in general, January, February, March are sort of our dedicated winter months. So that's where really our skiing happens, and our cross-country skiing classes and avalanche classes and snowshoeing classes happen. So those are always exciting. But during that time, we still have some climbing programs. We still have the archery programs that I mentioned, and several biking programs that are more focused on indoors to prepare for when the weather becomes a little bit nicer. But even that said, through the winter months, because we do have the coast and the warmer temperatures, we still do some paddling in the winter months, whether it be in the pool or tours out to coastal rivers or lakes, things like that. We can still do that in the winter time. So really anything is possible within reason. And for the River House, we try to break down as many barriers as possible to make outdoor education accessible. So we have clothing and equipment for, folks that are like, I really want to go snowshoeing, but I don't have a jacket. Is that a problem? No, it's not a problem at all. We have a wide range of clothing. We typically provide all the equipment for the different classes that we do offer. And thus, it's pretty simple to get into these programs. And then pretty much in April, we start to rotate into our spring program, which brings out more paddle sports, more outdoor archery, more biking programs, a wide range of those kind of things. We're still doing custom programs as well for groups that are looking to do things in the wintertime. So pretty much anything is possible.
Cool. I love that. Tell me more about that custom programming. I haven't heard of that before.
Yeah. So most any program that we offer, that we offer as a regular program for the community, we often can also set those up as a custom program for an organization. So we work with a lot of external groups that, for example, Back to Youth, they'll hire us to teach a class on archery or climbing or whatever they're looking for, rafting. And we can set that up for different groups depending on what that group is, and have a cost structure and things like that. So if somebody, has a bunch of family coming into town and they're looking to have some kind of adventure, there's a good possibility that we might be able to fit something in at the River House.
So how do you mentioned, you guys have a lot of equipment for people and things like that. Talk to me about your guides. Like, how do you make people feel safe who maybe have never been skiing before or never been snowshoeing before? How do you make them feel safe in the snow, in the cold, things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So everything at the River House is education based. So we're an outdoor education organization, and that's our goal. So really, yes, we take trips, but there's always an educational component to it. And for us at the River House, we absolutely function at the industry standards. So luckily with outdoor ed, there is a wide range of standards for all the different activities that we teach, and our instructors are trained to those industry standards. Many of them are certified by external agencies like the American Canoe Association or the American Mountain Guide Association. We're able to pull from all those experiences and continually update what we're doing to make sure that we're meeting those standards for safety. And then on top of that, by having the equipment that we have, everybody's ensured that we have quality equipment that is functional. So, most of our programs, we won't allow people to bring personal equipment unless it's something that we inspect in advance to make sure it meets those safety standards. And then along with that, we require, or we have the proper gear as far as clothing. So if people show up in some gear that is just not appropriate for what we're doing, we have the ability to provide that so folks can still get out and be comfortable. Yeah, we really try to make sure we check all those boxes and ensure that everybody has a great time and learns something new when they're out there.
Great. And it sounds like all skill levels too. These programs could be anywhere from beginner to advanced to very, very, very first time.
Yep. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I would say probably 70% of our programming is more towards that beginner to low intermediate. And then we just have a handful of programs that are more to folks that are either returning or at that higher level. And we do have throughout the spring and throughout the year several classes that are certification level classes. So yeah, pretty wide ranging majority, but the greater majority is definitely for those beginner type classes.
Any favorite winter destinations or like hidden gems around Eugene? I know we touched about this a little bit in kind of like what you love about winter rec, but if somebody was like, hey, I'm just going out with some friends, like give me your top place to go.
Cool. Top place to go. All depends. So interesting enough, in Oregon, our best months to paddle rivers are actually in the winter months, which is very challenging for me. I grew up in Colorado and there's a very clear, like, this is wintertime, this is summertime. But here in Oregon, our rivers really start to run in the wintertime. And so for me, taking time away from skiing and snow to go paddle is really hard for me to do, but it's such a treat because these rivers that don't run the rest of the year are really, really thumping and running. So that's really awesome. And then I would say, honestly, everything around the Santiam Pass area, the different snow parks and the lakes that are up there in the wintertime, pretty amazing places to go to and snowshoe around or cross-country ski from Hoodoo, or, our avalanche classes happen up on the Santiam Pass and they're really fun.
Well, thank you, Marcel. Okay, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Switching over to you here. What are some indoor programs that are particularly popular during the winter season?
Yeah, I think crafts is a big one, and sort of answering the same question you had asked Marcel about hidden gems. Peterson Barn Community Center, I think within rec, is definitely a hidden gem. Their new programming staff out at Peterson Barn Community Center is doing some really amazing things with folk crafts. I was taking a look at some of the offerings, stuff that I would love to get into. So folks are going to have to compete with me come registration day to get into those activities. But a lot of what they're focusing on in the wintertime is things that are dealing with warming spices and aromatics. So they've got some traditional herbal medicines that are based in like honey and vinegar to help soothe throats. That's one of the activities that they're going to be doing. They'll be dehydrating some food and making different like warming soups that you can share among a table with your friends. So they've got some really cool stuff going on over there in Peterson Barn. And then in the springtime, they are having opportunities to connect with nature. So flower pressing, a plein air trip out to Mary's Peak. There's a lot of really cool new things that they're implementing, but then we always have watercolor and acrylic painting, clay, wood shop, lots of different ways that people can save money during the holiday season by learning a new skill to make some stuff for their family and friends. So I feel like every term there are trips that get rolled over from term to term because they're so popular, and then new trips that we add in. So at Amazon, if you don't want to drive to Portland on your own, you can drive with us and go to a free First Thursday at the Portland Art Museum, or go check out the zoo lights this winter. We're going to be going after the holiday season, so it won't be as busy as it normally is. Campbell has a ton of amazing trips that they do, especially this time of year. They're going to be visiting a lot of like really fun markets where you can do some shopping and shop locally across the different communities in Oregon for those holiday gifts items. And the trip that I'm most excited about, if you are a little bit of a nerd like me, or if you're not too much of a squeamish person, Amazon Center and Campbell Community Center are both going to be going to Portland to go check out the Red Cross Laboratory. So we're going to learn how the process goes from when someone donates blood all the way to when the blood has been cleaned and processed and shipped out to a community that's in need.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be super cool.
That's a new one.
Yeah. Great.
So talk to me about how community centers help people stay connected during the holiday time.
Sometimes it can feel awkward to step into a space and try something new and be surrounded by a lot of different people who you've never met before. But one of the soapboxes that I like to get on is I think oftentimes when people are giving dating advice and you want to like break that barrier of connection with someone, go do something that neither one of you has ever done before. Because when we're in a space where we can feel vulnerable and step into our challenge zone, that's the space when all of our like biases and assumptions that we might have about ourselves and others kind of take a step back, and we're able to connect with people while using our hands and focusing on something else. And so it gets us out of our heads a little bit. I think that community centers offer a great space for that, because you don't have to be the expert. You can have never done something before. You could have never done snowshoeing before, or never picked up a paintbrush before. And our instructors are there to create a welcoming space and to be the experts in the room, so that you can just kind of get out of your head, get into your body, and work on connecting with the folks in the community.
Yeah. Learn a new skill, make some new friends, all that good stuff. Awesome. Okay, opening it back up to both of you guys. What advice do you have for someone trying something new this season?
You know, with all these things, it's always just be open, be vulnerable, and be willing to become part of a team that you might not have expected to be. Like everything, again, we do in outdoor, it's really less about the activity we're doing and more about the relationships that are built and the experiences that people have. So, you know, most people that come to the River House to take a kayak class or a climbing class or whatever are not going to be professional kayakers or professional skiers or archers or whatever. But you know, we like to say they are going to be professional people, and the experiences they gain through rec programs, regardless if it's an outdoor program, an art program, an educational program, they're going to walk away with new experiences and new relationships that are built through those processes. But they have to come into these opportunities with that willingness to be a little bit vulnerable and experience new things, and be willing to live in that stretch zone that was mentioned. So rec's a perfect opportunity to do that. It's a safe place to do that, and it's a welcoming place to do that. And honestly, I can't really think of a better place to have those experiences and build new relationships. We often have parents after classes request, you know, other parents' contact information, so their kids can have play dates, or they met somebody that, oh, this would be a great hiking partner for the future, or whichever. So I think those opportunities really are everywhere in rec, regardless of what you're looking to do.
Yeah, one of my favorite phrases of all time, my team and my family and my friends will all tell you this. I love take off your cool jacket. So if you're getting into a space where you are feeling nervous or feeling closed off a little bit, I like to see that as a sign that it's an opportunity for you to get into the stretch zone, into the challenge zone, and just don't be afraid to be the person that has to ask a question, because there's always someone else who has the same question. So use the opportunities within rec or outside of rec during the holiday season and the winter season and moving into spring to just stretch yourself, and don't be afraid to be, you know, not the smartest person or the best or the most professional person in the space.
What's one winter activity you think everyone should try at least once? There was one that you could sign up everybody in Eugene for, just one activity, one day, one class. What would it be?
I would say snowshoeing. Yeah. I remember the first time I went snowshoeing, I thought like, wow, you can do a really great core exercise in the snow, just trying to like stay upright. So I think snowshoeing is the thing that, the winter activity for me that was the most surprising that I've ever done.
Yeah, I love the fact that snowshoeing is so accessible. Like anybody can do it in one way or another for the most part. For me though, I have to go sliding on snow is such an experience, whether you end up being a snowboarder or a skier or a cross-country skier. Just that sensation of sliding on snow is so much fun. It feels like flying, and you know, the a lot of the things in outdoor, the better you get, the more fun it is. And so it might not happen the first day, but you go out a little bit snowboarding and hit that first powder day, and it changes your whole world.
Totally. Even just sledding. I remember going on that trip with those kids who were just taking the sleds down the hill over and over again. And it wasn't even a great snow day, but they had
so much fun. So, yeah. Kids definitely get to be kids in rec, and that's a really important thing, I think, for all of us.
Anything else either of you would want to add about winter rec, about coming into the new year, about December, holidays, anything kind of moving into the next season?
Registration opens at 9 a.m. on the 11th of December, so folks can go online, getrec.org to register for classes. They can call, they can come into a center. Don't forget that we've got spring programming up on the roster for registration as well. So make sure that you're thinking ahead and checking out what we've got for whenever the flowers start to come through and the weather gets a little bit warmer.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like, really be aware that our winter spring programming goes all the way from January through May. So it's a really long season. So whether you're ready to sign up for it right away or not till March, it's always worth checking back because there's a lot of things happening in all the centers and all the programs.
Great
Don't
New Year's
forget.
resolution. Yeah. Be proactive about your spring programming. Awesome. Well, thank you both for being here. Appreciate it so much. And I hope we get some people out there in the snow and inside being cozy with the friends and family.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you.